Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, Anastasia. What is up? Welcome to your reading.
I'm making you the host. Boom,
Perfect.
boom,
Okay.
boom.
All right. So, welcome. Just confirm. So, all right, Anastasia, I have you as February 5th, 1994, 7:50 p.m. in Corfu, Greece. And yeah, just go ahead and get started. We're super excited. Jesse and I have been talking about this for a while, but we both feel like we have a good chance of meeting each other one day. So,
Yeah, I think so. For sure. For sure, for sure, for sure.
all right, Jesse, would you like to?
Yes. Well, obviously the best combo ever is Aquarius Sag. Um, yeah, I mean everything is about freedom. The sun and the moon work really well together. So, if you think of yourself, having like the masculine and the feminine, archetype within you, sun and moon, it can be difficult if one is way different than the other. So they're very similar. They both love freedom. They both are okay with being different. Um, you know, it's a sextile, right? So you have sun sextile moons. So that also usually indicates a good relationship between the parents, or if it's not a good relationship between the parents, um, you know, a similar message that you received from your mom to your dad, from each parent. Like it's not like like the overall message from parent A is just like completely conflicting with the message from parent B, right? It's like there's kind of a syncing, so that's good psychologically. And yeah, like all of us are Sag moons, so we know the drill. You have it in the fourth, so that's where I have my classes, so I know all about it. And the best way I can explain that is, there's an emotional need for travel, for wisdom, for learning, for change. Like you can't just be like when things get. I was just telling Haley like I'm getting kind of bored with my life. I wanna, yeah. Um, and under stress, the Sag Moon will travel. They'll leave. They'll dip out. They'll go on a new adventure. But the fact that's in the fourth house makes you want to have that home nest, even in faraway places. So it's like, for example, when I travel, like I wouldn't go somewhere unless I could have like a really comfortable accommodation. You know what I mean? Which is kind of weird. Some people just like stay, are down to just stay wherever. And yeah, the fourth house makes that. And then it also makes family, very important to you. And yeah, so it's like a real mix of like being uh kind of having like a somewhat homebody tendencies, but I don't imagine that that's like a massive thing being an Aquarius, Sag, but yeah, at least having that nurturing, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I think it also makes you somebody very nurturing, like extremely nurturing, very like I have the Cancer sun, right? So with the Sag moon combo, Jesse has the Pisces sun. It's like you have the fourth house moon. So I feel like it's a little bit of Cancer-esque energy as well. I feel like you feel your emotions deeply with moon in fourth, moon in eighth, anything like that, moon in 12. There's like a real large depth that your moon allows you to explore too. Um, I kind of want to talk about the North Node too, in combination with the Sag Moon, because you are a South Node in the ninth house at 29 degrees, 56 minutes. That's huge. The nodes at 29 degrees in this lifetime. I think, Anastasia, I've mentioned this in one of your readings before, but it's like this is the lifetime of like lifetimes, like all your past lifetimes. Like this one is the one where it's like, okay, we're not messing around anymore. We're doing the thing. Um, I mean, South Node in the ninth house, South Node in Taurus. I feel like you've lived like a good life, like a good life. Like South Node and Taurus individuals, like probably like with finance of some sort, probably like really, really well versed in the like material realm. So I feel like in this lifetime, I mean, I know a little bit about you, so I know you're really hardworking, but yeah, like headed towards with the North Node in the third house, like knowing different languages and kind of like exploring like your own area too. So yeah, even though there is like this like need to travel, I feel like your soul's not like, oh my gosh, I need to do this, I've never explored before. I feel like your soul's like, earth, I've gone many places, and it's always nice to do that, but I feel like coming back and exploring like your own mind, your own immediate environment, like really taking in the people that you have, or just the environments around you wherever you travel, is always going to feel really fulfilling, and kind of doing that North Node Scorpio thing of like investigating and deeper into each cultures, and investigating, um, writing things down, like taking in your environments. So.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because so you have how I would break down like the karmic stuff would be that yeah, you have definitely lived good. But you have like a lot of a signature of someone who was very much in like the material kind of realm. Like a lot of like past life conditioning. I see actually a lot of Sag moons that have this and basically, you know, whether you lived in a society that, let's say it was really religious, and like you were forced to believe this and that, and or whatever, right? Or maybe you were in a family that was royalty or whatever, there's a million different potentials. But the whole point is that it created this sort of repression around the truth. And now in this lifetime, being a Scorpio North, and also like what happens with the South Node and Taurus is that there can be like this getting used to the comfort, right? So with the North Node in Scorpio conjunct Pluto, what you've avoided in past lives um has been this plutonic shadow work in a sense, right? Not to say that you haven't done any work. I'm saying that this is a massive thing. Pluto conjunct the North Node in Pisces or in Scorpio. You're here to really, really integrate your shadow, right? Um, and gain lots of like internal insights, right? So sometimes people who have like I have Pluto square my nodes, right? So sometimes it brings a level of like past life trauma into this life because Pluto is opposing your South Node. So yeah, there's been this reluctance to go through the difficult death, rebirth, transformation whole scorpionic process because things were so Taurusy and nice, right? So now in this life, it's like, you know, fucking Sag Moon, go figure things out. And yeah, with the third house, um, it's like okay, this is okay, this is how I break it down. It's like you there's been I actually have a similar thing in my chart. There's been consequences in past life where you didn't go and do like the data, like with learning Gemini Sag, right? Third and ninth, it's like the Gemini third is about like collecting the data, right? If like let's say talking to all these people in your immediate surroundings, all that. The ninth house is when you take all that data and you form like guiding philosophies out of it, right? So what this shows me is that you sort of kind of believe things without getting the proof. So in this life, it's all about getting the proof, and that's also why you have Jupiter and Scorpio. You're meant to go deep, deep, deep into stuff, into research and the things you're interested in, and just experience so much. And as an Aquarius, that correlates to all that because that's the sign that doesn't give a fuck, that goes its own way. So yeah, it all makes it, it's like you've been restricted by like like your freedom has been restricted in a sense, like not like you as a prisoner, but in this life, like spiritual freedom, right? In this life, it's all about that.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I mean,
Angel.
truly, a North Node conjunct Pluto, like he said, I mean, Pluto's, I think Pluto's slowly becoming my favorite planet. Pluto is a lot like 12th house, like people don't really understand, but the more that I come to understand Pluto, it's it's a subconscious energy, right? So Taurus is really, really in reality. Like a lot of Earth sign slash Taurus can like suffer from anxiety or just like real like there's shadow and light to it, right? It's like you enjoy the present moment, like you take it in all the time as a Taurus, the five senses, like the smells around you, like you are conscious of the memories that you're making. And one thing that I hear from South Node Taurus a lot is um like they can get like sad when like a good moment is passing or when like a good moment is over, and they kind of leaves them in like this void of like, oh, what's the next best moment in reality, instead of like delving into the deeper meaning of like how nothing good lasts forever, that like with every deeper hard conversation something is gained. And I think that that's the thing about Scorpio is they'd rather know the truth, they'd rather know the dark side, they rather know everything so that they hold power, and with the power they have the power to blank, you know, it's just empowering themselves, the situation, like, and and yeah, a lot of the 1994 babies, Justin Bieber has this. He has it, but he has a 29-degree like Scorpio rising. So the whole world has seen Justin Bieber get his innocence taken away from him and just like go through like hell and back as being somebody who can't hide the transformation that they've gone through, for example. Um, Something really interesting about the 1994 babies that are born around this time, the fact that the Jupiter's in Scorpio too always trips me out because it's like a lot of these people are well versed in sex, right? For example, they like are drawn to like erotic, beautiful things. They're drawn to like depth. They like deep movies. They like experiences that are deep. They like they understand the dark parts of life for sure. That's like where a lot of the wisdom comes from, actually, is kind of like knowing that the world's like this. But it's one thing to kind of like be very aware and like to know that the world is one thing. Very, very smart too, really analytical, can figure a lot of things out, like definitely has had to, I guess has been around it, but yeah, it's one thing, it's another thing to look within and to like own that, you know. And I mean, with the Chiron squaring North and South Node, Chiron, I think we have Chiron opposing Saturn. We have Chiron conjunct AC too. With Chiron individuals, like in this lifetime, like Chiron was born from tragedy, and but he never had a chip on his shoulder. So that's kind of like the journey, I think. Like a huge theme when we look at the mythology is just like there's gonna be things in this lifetime that like deep, like things that like just like take you deeper, and if you allow yourself to go through the initiation you will come out stronger, um and more empowered. Your Vesta's in the eighth house of power. You deem power like as very sacred, and your Black Moon Lilith is there, so it's like just I think like merging that witchiness, that like well versed past life, like you've done a lot of the exploring and like you know a lot about the world, and I think it's just like integrating it and turning it like the mirror to self, you know. uh, Super intelligent too, with Jupiter in the third, Pluto in the third, power of fortune in the third. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
talkative too, right?
yeah. um yeah, you go Jesse, I'm curious.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're yeah, like the Pluto third house. It's like you have to, yeah, you have to go and it makes someone a really powerful communicator. There can be. I'm curious. Did she have siblings?
I don't
Well, if they're siblings, be curious because you got Pluto and Jupiter. So sometimes people have multiple siblings, and one will like represent one planet, one will represent the other. Sometimes it's just like relationships can be very dark, but also very um like you know um optimistic and light at the same time in different aspects of them. But yeah, I mean, there could be some interesting karma with siblings. Pluto third house can create like power struggles with siblings, but the point is that with so Chiron on your ascendant, usually that would make someone quite shy. My mom actually has that. She's not shy, but at least growing up, it's like a one of the markers of a healer, right? But it can definitely make someone more introverted in a sense. But like I said, it's the whole chart. So like you have a lot of non-introverted placements, but it really makes someone like because the ascendant's how you look, it can make you look like a healer, but early on it can make someone look a little bit wounded. Um, so like I've seen people with this who have like kind of like a sad look on their face, or they did when they were younger. Um, but you know, there's a lot, and also it's the ascendant, so it could relate to some physical wound or issue early on. And yeah, it speaks to the importance of spiritual healing. And how you heal yourself, and that reflecting how you are able to heal other people later on, which is dope. And yeah, so yeah, and it does. Wait, does it square? No, wait, you said Chiron squares the nose. Wait, what?
Uh,
Oh, yeah, 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 because
right
it's
now, Chiron square moon.
moon. Oh, okay, okay, but wait, it's 29. Yeah, yeah, it doesn't. Wait, yeah, it does. It squares. It's a very light square.
Yeah, it's a 7 degree.
But yeah, like I would say, huh. Yeah, I would say well actually I would give that to Mercury too. That's very interesting. Oh my God, I need to get something. But actually I don't even need it. I know by heart. But yeah, so um so yeah, Mercury and Saturn together, that is really good for intelligence. Just overall, it's a very organized mind. In Pisces, so that's cool. We both kind of have like a Pisces Mercury that's like an kind of different type of one. But usually Pisces Mercury is a little bit um it's not known as the best Mercury. It's not that Pisces Mercury people aren't smart, it's just that we can be very vague and all over the place and very abstract with our thinking, which not that logical. But the fact that you have Saturn there is really good and is 4 degrees away. Yeah, so it gives a real balance of right and left brain, good memory, good logic. Just but like usually people with Mercury conjunct Saturn, yeah, they usually were shy as they grew up. So um yeah, and are you what degree? So you're Saturn return right now. Yeah. So now you're probably really or lately slash now you're probably really coming into your own um around self-expression. Um and yeah, you could really like with the Pluto third house and this become like a real voice of authority to the world. And what was I gonna say? Shit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So with the nodes also, so Saturn, that's like an exact square just about, but with Mercury, and even the ascendant axis is, it's 9 degrees. Um, that so a lot of people with that, there's like they have to really look at their internal dialogue. They can have some inherited introjects, like guilt, shame, um, like just different stories they kind of tell themselves. of why they might not be able to do something. Um, so yeah, it really, like, I think with the Pluto North Node, a big part of it also is just, yeah, the more you move into change, into growth, into letting layers of yourself go, like, yeah, being able to just let go, right? Um, the easier things get for you, and the more things open up around, kind of letting go of anything that may have really gotten in your way in past life.
Yeah, I think too with Saturn, so that's your 0 degree placement. 0 degrees in the birth chart too is just you are the epitome of that thing in this lifetime. So the Saturn return is really big for you, and I know that um, you wanted guidance on that. Um, yeah, with Saturn conjunct. So we have Mercury conjunct the descendants, and then we have Saturn. Would you say Saturn conjunct the descendant by 8 degrees is a large enough? Is that too large of an orb?
No, I mean, it's seventh house regardless, so it definitely still works.
True. Um, well, one thing I'll say with Saturn and Mercury right now, like this Saturn return is very mercurial for you. So your mind, for sure, as Saturn goes too, when it retrogrades back, it's like you feel kind of like the progress being made, and then you go back and review it, and then you move forward, and then you go back and review it, and that's just the nature of like Saturn's mastery. But you would be linearly mastering your mind, which, like Jesse said, Mercury likes to be in a very logical energy, something like Gemini, Aquarius, Virgo, but you have Pisces, which actually Pisces Mercuries are some of my favorites, right? Jesse has a Pisces Mercury. Um, my roommate has a Pisces Mercury. Pisces offers, it's just a different type of intelligence. Like I said, like Gemini and Virgo is just measurable intelligence. They do well in school.
Yeah,
They're
but
the people.
me and Anastasia's don't, like, are different because I'm a Kazemi, which makes mine more like a Gemini, like slash Pisces, and she has the Capricorn connection. So it's like kind of interesting, right? It's like we're both like different types of Pisces Mercury. But yeah, it's all true what you're saying. But I wanted to highlight that.
Hell yeah. No, I mean, completely. Like anything that touches around it too. Like Jesse's Kazemi is, I mean, it's just like I've seen how like mercurial things like give him life. You know, he loves like talking. He loves like with Saturn, it's like you literally are getting better like every day, quite literally every day. That's just the way that Saturn works. Like whatever house you have Saturn in, that area of life is going to be delayed. It's just the way that Saturn works. Um, what I will say with the Mercury, because you have it at a 4th degree in Pisces, so it's very watery. There's a
Tomo
little.
hot, real star.
Oh, she is a little star seed. Um, yeah, it's a wisdom that you contain, right? And so wisdom is a lot like from experience. So and yeah, Pisces and Mercury can relate to like all walks of life too. That's also something I really like about them. Whereas like a Gemini Mercury might be able to talk really well with people their own age, but Pisces Mercury can talk with anybody kind of universally. And yeah, uh, with Saturn in the seventh house too, like that can indicate like a delay in like marriage. Like definitely after Saturn return, um, I think a lot of the relationship stuff, like that mastery will come through. So it could have been like a lot of karmic relationships. I know that you mentioned when you went to the UK that there was like a pretty big karmic relationship. But yeah, like I would pay attention to anybody you meet during your Saturn return. I would pay attention to sibling stuff with the Saturn return too, because your Saturn is conjunct Mercury, and then you also have the third house action. But yeah, it's just you're learning a lot through other people in this lifetime. That's also the seventh house. It's like the house of mirrors. That's why it's like enemies and lovers like that really big duality because we're all mirrors of each other. And seventh house natives learn through other people. They show you exactly like how to be treated. They show you exactly like the things you don't like about yourself, the things you do. You trigger that in people. It's the opposite of the first house of self identity. You're learning through the identities of other people. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And I just pulled up, I don't know. I just pull up your Saturn return chart. Usually don't do this, but I just took a look at it. And yeah, I mean there's a fuck ton in wow, yeah, sun is exactly conjunct Neptune with Mercury. Um Saturn is in it's in the third house. Wow. Yeah, so I think a lot like a lot of the Saturn return chart is about yeah, finding your voice, finding your authentic voice would be kind of how I would see it. And yeah, it could be sibling stuff too if that's something that's big. Um and yeah, like I mean like even like Mars and Gemini, yeah, there's just a lot like new avenues of self-expression. And then even North Node with Uranus, it's like moving yourself more towards that change, right? That Scorpio, Scorpio North Node is about change in a different way than Uranus is, but they're both about change. So just want to throw that in there for you. And then even Jupiter's with Chiron, so um could be, yeah, very uh lots of like deep insights about your healing. Okay, just a little something extra. But yeah, so where was I? So Fomalhaut is a royal star. There's not that much good information. Um, but it's like divine inspiration, and you have to have like an exact conjunction. You have one with Mercury. So obviously Mercury, so that can create like an amazing poet, an amazing writer. Also it could be like, yeah, like a scientist, but like really like it could just make you able to write, and I would say speak in ways that can like connect you to the most like amazing Pisces energy possible. So it's pretty dope, but it's hard to find info on that. Um, so with the Chiron, right? I guess what I would say more, I mean, a lot of times they're like not always. Obviously, like when I tell people like there's childhood trauma, they're not gonna like, and they don't always speak to it when we have a follow up, or if we even have a follow up. But yeah, a lot of times there is like something that left like a deep imprint on that person's memory. And it's like this battle of around feeling worthy, around feeling so this is like the big thing, right? It's like the more, by experiencing darkness, um by experiencing change, by allowing yourself to learn and to be open-minded, even people that seem stupid, just like letting those people like like why does that person think that way, just being curious, right? um that's very important. But yeah, so like Chiron ascendant, it's very strong people, very resilient, and it doesn't matter, what background they came from. It's like, they grow up and they're people who know how to get through shit. And a lot of times I feel, one thing I've noticed is that they sometimes don't feel like they were that supported in some way. Um that isn't like a for sure thing. Like that's something I've noticed a little bit. Like they weren't heard, but then you had like the sun sextile moon, so it's like, but yeah, like it is someone who wants to really be very humanitarian, and is very understanding of the suffering of the world or the collective. And yeah, like it's like, I think like if there is a trauma, it comes from that energy of just wanting like having wished the kid that wished that someone could have said that thing or done that thing to help them in that tough time, and then they want to go and be that person for someone else or for other people. Um, so yeah, it's really like one of those things where it's like, how can you channel any hurt um, into something that can actually really, really help people. And then you look back at it and you're like, damn, if I never had these tough experiences, I would never be able to be in the position I'm in right now. And that's a lot of the best part of astrology, is that it puts, like how we frame things is everything, right? So we could look at a bad experience as light as the worst thing that ever happened to me. Fuck that shit. I hate that person. I hate this. Or we see like, damn, that was in the chart. Like, and then that, without that, would this amazing thing be possible? No. So that's kind of a good way to think about when bad things happen, right?
Yeah, it's exactly like what you said about Chiron, super true. Like Chiron in the first, well, Chiron just rules over insecurity. So there could have been like from a very young age, like a need to like prove oneself like more than other people, just having to like feel the pressure of having to compensate for something that like from a young age that you never even really had to compensate for in the first place. And this can manifest as somebody healing through like developing their own style. Like Chiron in the first, Chiron sons are really, really self expressive and it's very healing for them. Like doing their hair like certain ways, or just like their outfits, or just like wearing what they want and what they like they heal through that. And like tattoos and things like that for sure. But yeah, I've noticed that too. There can be a like a deep insecurity of just like of being like who you are. But think about Chiron too, which Chiron's very much a growing planet, like Saturn, like Jupiter, like Pluto. It's very much like with time you heal it. And that's just the
Hmm.
nature of Chiron. That's why it hurts, you know? Um, but yeah, I think the biggest thing that it happens is because it's a healing oriented planet. Like when you're triggered, things will come up. Um, Other than that, when it comes to other people, like Jesse said, Chiron's amazing. Chiron trained all of the Titans and trained all of the demigods. He trained all the gods and goddesses, children of Olympia. And yeah, he was taken under Apollo. Apollo was the jack of all trades. He was a poet, he was a romantic, he was an athlete, he was extremely smart, he was a musician. Like Apollo was the man, and Chiron was the man who learned everything and taught everyone else. So Chiron likes to help people. They like to make people feel good. They, even if, I mean, homeless people, I mean, just like in relationships, like their friends, like they really will try to, I think, like help to facilitate the most healing route, or try to like guide that person at least in like a way that's like going to help them, which is one of my favorite things about Chiron in the first. But for sure, too, the fact that it's coming from the 12th house side. Um, yeah, what I'm curious your take on that, Jesse, because like I've seen a lot of Chiron in front of the ascendant, but I haven't seen that many Chiron coming from behind the ascendant.
For me, yeah, I mean, like if it's close to the ascendant, I pretty much just count it as rising, like if it's like, yeah, like that close, like I don't really, yeah, even like in Placidus, it's like less than a degree. So um I would always count that as like a first house um Chiron.
Just like a Chiron rising.
Yeah, it is Chiron rising. but yeah, it's really interesting actually, like, because like there's a major theme with, so because like, so Mercury square the nodes, right? So like what that can bring up is, like it's like a lot of times it is, this like something with the mind, right? Like whether it's like overly rigid thinking, um, like kind of how I was saying before, like this type of curiosity that lacks discrimination a little bit in terms of like what it takes on, like what material it takes on, right? Um, but then also like being very like self-critical, right? So this is a very common thing with this karmically is like someone who, has like internalized guilt and even shame. And it could even be like some like just like lie, like it goes back to what I was saying before, like where lies or conflicting views um in respect to like the truth had like profound consequences in past lives, right? So it's interesting because like then when you talk about Saturn, right? Saturn is different, and it's way more about the conditioning, as I said before. Um, but really that one is about like, taking your life into your own hands, you know, like it's about, maturation, and on a soul level, right? And not blaming other people, not blaming other factors, and just really like kind of going at it, so it kind of like when you connect all of this to Mercury in your chart, right? So you have Mercury, in Pisces, as we said, opposite Chiron, right? Um, and so you have very few aspects in your chart, right? So, and your Chiron, right, which is your pain, as we've said, is in Virgo. So I would like, and I get this all the time with clients with Gemini Virgo. Mercury ruled Chiron. So it's very likely that because you probably have a very, with your all your Aquarius energy, right? You probably have it, and with your even Uranus in the fifth, and in the Sag moon, like I wouldn't be surprised if you're like the black sheep in the family, or at least on some level you think differently. So many of my clients have this. It's crazy, right? That the Chiron in Gemini or in Virgo, a lot of times that a Chiron in Virgo or a Gemini represents someone who had doubts about their own intelligence at some point or their own way of communicating, and it's like this healing journey, right? About figuring out, no, I am fucking smart. They're the ones that were wrong, right? And Chiron and Virgo is also that strong link. Virgo is like very psychosomatic, so it's a very strong link between emotional problems and physical health. And there can also be a fear of emotions, right? Where you're like too much in the logical, right? Um, so yeah, it makes like being a service really, really important. But like if we talk about even adding to that Mercury opposite Chiron, right? Like that's literally maybe like I like when Haley was talking, I got this weird thing. I was like something with a sibling, and I could be wrong, but like I was like I was wondering, I was like, yo, like what if like there's some sibling rivalry or something that's kind of like I don't know. Because Mercury opposite Chiron, right? Then regardless of how you look at it, I mean, you can look at Mercury as siblings, but you could also just look at it as um just it's like a double, it's like doubling down what I just said of feeling some type of intellectual inadequacy, which if you actually think about your Mercury in Pisces, like take with Saturn on it, right, which can create that shyness early on, right, and that kind of restrictiveness around communicating. Well, Mercury in Pisces, like like we're amazing, but like in terms of like this very Capricornian world, school world, it doesn't always work that well, right? So it's like everything with Saturn gets better with age. So it could have been the case that you had issues in early schooling or with your family, or just something that kind of caused you to shut down. And it's this journey for you to really find your voice, which is interesting. I saw that in the Saturn return chart, and find that you are smart, that you are, you've got that shit, like, and then that whole experience makes you someone who can really be there for other people, yeah, as a healer in some way. And oh, and also, and then you add to that the fact that Jupiter and Pluto are in the third house of communication. Pluto third house are known. I'm Pluto third house. Like, we're known for being just like very, very strong communicators, right? And we can be obsessive with our research. And Jupiter also, right? Like someone who's very optimistic and can really brighten people's day through their way of speaking. But it's in Scorpio, so you go deep beneath the surface, the occult. You are like you're a natural psychologist, right? Like you get the psyche. So I just find that whole correlation super interesting.
I mean, same. There's the T square is Chiron, Mercury, the North Node. Third house, the first house of self identity, and then we have the seventh house of other people. Um, I almost want to say, kind of now, I mean, what Jesse said just got me like really thinking. I almost want to say, I feel like you did well in school, like with Jupiter in the third. Like I feel like you probably did, and like that the ninth house, like south node, I feel like you've pursued higher education and higher knowledge subjects. Like you've had both. I feel like you've had an awareness about things outside of the pen and paper, but you also are good at the pen and paper. I want to almost say that like other people may have like growing up in school, your siblings, like other people may have really been the ones to make you feel like no.
Yeah. No, that
And
that sounds really, yeah, because like yeah, like it's something, right? Because like yeah, you're right, because Saturn, even Saturn with Mercury, like you'd still be a good student, you would still be intelligent, you'd still you'd still be able to get the job done. Yeah, but maybe it was like bullying or jealous people, right?
people who mess with your mind or people who like tested your how strong your mind is, yeah.
I thought I saw something huge, but it was wrong. But go on.
um yeah, because seventh house, so I'm a seventh house Mercury Sun. I got a lot of seventh house. You have the Saturn in the seventh house, Mercury in the seventh house. I mean, I also have like a pretty harsh like Chiron placement because Chiron is not for the weak. Let's just say it. Like North Node conjunct Pluto, like you are uncovering some real depths of your soul end of life in this lifetime. Um, which I love because that's power and that's healing, but there's initiations to these things. And with the Chiron like opposing Mercury, like I almost want to say like there could have been like enemies, yeah, like bullies, like other girls, or like when you did date, it was like these people could have really, I feel like, done like a number on you. Like Saturn in the seventh can be like very karmic dealings with the close connections. So if you had like a friendship with like somebody and they were like bullying you, like I had that, right? But now like I don't care about what people think as much, and that's really, I feel like, with the T square here, it's very karmic. The whole point of a T square is to have these blocks to be able to become fearless. Like that is like a huge part of squares, is to like just the only way out is through, and through that you become fearless. And like North Node conjunct Pluto too. Um, I think with dealing with people, you can look at things as very black and white, right? Which is what I think for fixed signs is really big for them too. It's just like, okay, this is black, this is white, South Node and North Node on the like Taurus Scorpio axis. But um, with Pluto, it's like you're learning about other people's behaviors. And like you're meant to be sensitive in this lifetime. I feel like with the Chiron on the rising, what time you came into this world, like that portal was like boom, right on Chiron. Like there was an innate sensitivity that is touching your emotional world, your logical mind, The lesson in this lifetime is very Chiron oriented. A lot of people have Chiron opposing Saturn, the biggest wound, the biggest lesson in this lifetime. Kind of hard to look at each other, but that's the karmic loop, right? And with the North Node conjunct Pluto, Pluto is subconscious energies. So Neptune people activate the imaginations of others. Pluto activates other people's shadows. The thing about Pluto and Scorpio is it's almost like a built-in computer, and they can analyze assess people's weaknesses right away and people's strengths right away. That's the power dynamic, and kind of being able to play this game of chess of being like, I know exactly what you're saying is coming from this motive. I can tell because what you're saying is not aligning with the energy. They pay attention to the energy, they pay attention to the way someone's moving. If someone's tapping their leg and they're nervous and but they're like talking a big talk, you can see through that, and you can then use that third house intelligence, that third house of communication, and be able to kind of use this intelligence that you have paired with these higher minded values that you're going to carry to be able to really step into your authentic voice, your power, and it's going to heal your sense of self. There's a really big like coming to self and really, really utilizing this like Jupiter and Scorpio. Like you've seen a lot like in previous lifetimes. So like use that in this lifetime. Like if you feel like something's off, if someone's showing you a true color, like I think not only do you are you recognizing it, but the Saturn return is allowing you to speak your very authentic truth about it and to like be in that position of power.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Death. Yeah. So yeah, and it's also equally interesting, like just this 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 journey within, right? Because of where the nodes are, you have your south node close, conjunct the midheaven, very close. Um, North node, hold on 1 second, sorry. Okay. So yeah, like basically like that is just like a karmic imbalance of where you were like I don't want to say like too public, but midheaven rules the public, the kind of career, dharma, all that. So it's not that you're not supposed to be like that, but it just speaks to the importance of kind of, yeah, like with Pluto, Scorpio, of kind of really coming within yourself. But like there's this big theme in your chart of this internal journey and this, external kind of Sagittarian Jupiter square nodes type, or I mean Saturn square nodes. That's, yeah, just type vibe. But yeah, even like so with all the Aquarius, right? Like by the way, we have the exact same Mars, 6 degrees, and your vertex is my Mars. I mean my vertex is your wait, never mind. Yeah, but yeah, so and your sun's my north node. Crazy. Or yeah, north node. I have Venus in Aquarius too, Mars in Aquarius. So look, if we talk about love, um, you are like me. You need space. You need, you probably like more unconventional types of relationships. You know, I mean, we have everything the same, like Moon, Venus, Mars, and what's her June and Juno also. Jesus Christ. Okay, so you're exactly the same as me. So it's like, yeah, like loving, space, freedom, unconventional relationships where there's, um, you know, good communication, but then also where you have, yeah, like freedom is a non-negotiable, and not losing your individuality, because Aquarius is the sign of individuality, and in past lives you have lost that, you have had that taken from you. So um in this life it's completely all about freedom, and your relationships, will reflect that. But then with your Juno and Scorpio, which I have too, that makes you want that loyalty. That makes you want that, that person. Of course, yeah, like you want that fun adventure buddy. that gives you freedom, but they better be fucking solid too. And yeah, able to really, in third house also. So like, have like the conversations with them and stuff. Good communication, even deep communication, right? So it's interesting. What do you think of all that, Haley?
Um, I mean, the fact that you guys are so similar is so funny to me. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, Vertex in Aquarius, I mean, that's huge. Like, and Vertex conjunct Mars, like, just, I mean, I can go into that on like a different level, but as far as like relationships go, like, you're definitely meant to be fated with like Aquarian people. Like, so would not surprise me if you fell for somebody of a different culture, of a different, just they're different. Aquarius, your Venus is at the same degree as me. Actually, our Venuses are exactly opposing. I have a 21 degree Leo Venus, and I also love the foreign. We know this. Everyone here knows this. So,
so do
um,
I. Never dated an American girl. Well, one.
there,
Actually,
there we
more
go.
than one. But whatever.
Yeah, it's and I mean the fact that you have Venus conjunct Sun, I love. It's like you just have a big heart anyway. Could make you a little bit more Libra, Taurus. Like you have the South Node at 29 degrees, so it doesn't surprise me. I think you're somebody who loves love. I think that for sure. The descendant being in Pisces is huge too. Your descendants at 8 degrees Pisces, a Scorpio degree. So definitely somebody I think who's equally as intellectual as they are emotionally intelligent, which is the dream combo, right? But I think that that's a lot about who you are too. Like in this lifetime, it's really beneficial for you to be supported by people who are emotionally intelligent or really, really feel comfortable with like subconscious energies. Like Neptune is unconditional love. Plutonic love is extremely deep, and even the moon, right? And I think I think too with moon sextile sun and moon sextile your Venus, you have a beautiful way with words. I see that too with the Mercury in Pisces and Mercury conjunct your descendant. Like you could also like people who are very mercurial, like Jesse said, like people
Yeah.
who like witty banter, inside jokes, like having a partner that's a best friend, you know. Um, but yeah, somebody emotionally intelligent, somebody too like Pisces energy likes to experience life, and I know that Aquarius doesn't want to miss out on life's experiences just because of a partner, you know, whether that's like friends or their own hobbies or experiencing some things alone, some things with others. But yeah, it's a good combination of things. That's what I think about that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like there's just so much. Like, um, I think one of the tough things, having Venus and Mars and Aquarius is, and everyone's different, right? With a Sag moon though, like there's this, and obviously I've spoken to so many people who have, this or a combination of this and that. The fear is that, relationships can become so like, like, which some people love, right? Like people have different like attachment styles and love languages and all that. But a lot of the people who have, this type of energy, they fear losing like that sense of them as an individual. It's not that they don't want to, that like they can't be committed, right? It's not like they can't be loyal. No, they can do that. It's just that they get very like there can be a deep fear because like Sag Moon is changing so much, right? Aquarius is so random that like you don't know who you're gonna be in 5 years, right? I mean, this is like something like I think about, right? It's like I don't know who I'm gonna be in 2 years, in 3 years. Like I don't know. Like I've already experienced the craziest changes like in this lifetime alone. Like, so I think that's kind of a thing for like the Aquarius energy and the mutable energy and love is there can be a big fear of like commitment, um because you don't want to commit when you're such a changeable person, you know? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, go ahead.
No, did you want to finish your thoughts?
I was just gonna go like talk about a little bit about Mars and Aquarius, but I can do that after.
I mean, I'll here, here, King. Let me segue you because I can also say something that I wanted to say about the Mars conjunct vertex. Um, vertex is the energy that we're fated to encounter: people, places, situations. Whenever something transits over vertex, that's a karmic little portal, the next little thing out of Pandora's box that we're meant to experience. You can get a hint of what this is going to look like through looking at the house. You have it in the sixth house of health, especially like physical health. My girl Anastasia looks good. You were meant to do, I really think you were meant to like do that in this lifetime too. It's part of the Chiron in the first. You have a lot of sixth house placements. Really want to mention that. And the fact that you have Saturn conjunct Mercury is like there's a lot of self-discipline that you're capable of, like an insane amount of self-discipline to look good, to take care of yourself, to like holistically too, not just get the facials and you know, things like that, but to feed, like if you don't want to eat something, right? I can't see somebody with like a Saturn conjunct Mercury like having a problem being like, you know what, no, like that's I'm good, like which is something I really, really, really adore about Saturn so much is it has that, whether it's a square or an opposition, there is this like resistance to be like, man, like am I making the best choice for myself um in all situations. And yeah, I think in combination with the Chiron in the first house in Virgo, right? And we talked about this a little bit, Anastasia, I believe. I believe like you were like into like health or like nutritionist or like something like that. But Vertex and Aquarius too, like one thing I really like about Sag, Scorpio, Aquarius is like they're so intense with like what they will allow, what they will not allow. And yeah, it's like they have their own little like rules of life, and I think that that is actually a really, really huge thing for the Pluto conjunct North Node, like kind of translating like that energy not only to like health and people, but like with Mars too, it's like you're also fated to like take action too, like learn, like you're gonna be fated with people who are probably like very fiery, very passionate, very full of life, very expressive, very even like a little bit like combative if they like stand up to other people very easily. These types of individuals could come into your life, people who are really free, people who own who they are, like that is a lot of the energy that you're meant to embody and you're meant to encounter, because the sun, we choose our sun sign, right? It's like in Mario Kart, like I choose Yoshi every time because that's my boy, but it's like
Oh
we choose
shoot.
Yoshi. It's like the sun is the character we choose. Mercury as well as Venus are based off our sun sign. The moon sign is the true core soul frequency. So I look at like the character because I believe we choose our charts. Some astrology, varies, but like yeah, like in this lifetime, I see you being somebody who like is is like being that balance of like emotional, like you have the emotional quality, you have the logical quality, um, and it's going to help you to take action towards doing like the North Node conjunct Pluto, which the North Node's also conjunct the IC, which is the emotional foundation of the soul, kind of going back to that and rebuilding that. Like, I think you're fated to meet a lot of people who are just Mars, who are just Aquarius. Like, they just are who they are. It's going to help empower you and like heal that sense of self too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think like the last thing for like Mars and Aquarius, like they just have a way of getting things done. Like it's very, very like someone once said that with Mars and Aries, you know you're being dominated, but with Mars and Aquarius, you're being dominated and you don't even know about it. And I just thought that was funny. Um, but yeah, there's just this drive towards like and like yeah, you'll be like I'd be very surprised if you know weren't in really good shape. I mean, you're Virgo rising. Low key, Virgo risings be looking good. Like they take care of themselves.
I do.
Um, you know, they care about the little things. Very clean energy usually. Green eyes. Is her you showed me the photo of her, but is her eyes green? I forget.
I think her eyes are beautiful. I don't know what color they are. They could be like a mixture, but definitely colored.
Colored eyes. Yeah. So where's my Virgo rising? He ran away. But yeah. So like the sixth house, yeah. It's a service, right? So it's like you are able to give selfless service. And I think when your North Node is like another thing that comes to mind with that is someone who's like I just thought of crisis work. That's not really what I'm like thinking you're meant to be doing or anything like that. But like someone who can really work in tough fucking situations. Um, so I think like everything that has happened in your life is sort of preparing you, and even your midheaven, right? So we talk about like career, dharma, what you're meant to be doing. Um, in one quick second. Yeah, so we talk about that. Um, you know, midheaven and Gemini, like I know a ton of those people who have like many different who like switch careers a lot, you know, or like they do one thing for a little bit and then they do something else for, you know, after and it just they just switch it up, you know. It's a mutable midheaven. So, yeah, like I think it kind of introduces the kind of the trial and error idea. And as a Sag moon, you're always looking for new adventures, new experiences, right? And we factor in Mercury rules your midheaven, you know, in the seventh. That could be someone that's meant to work with clients, right? Seventh house rules clients. Um, you know, you could be someone who's meant to, yeah, and it's Pisces, so you could be meant to be like a spiritual healer, literally, like so like what we're doing. Um, like Pisces ruled seventh house, midheaven rules ruled by Mercury in the seventh. Yeah, like that's like has that written all over it. But don't be, you know, disappointed if it takes different, like more than one chance to get there, you know? And, or not chance, the fuck am I saying? More than, you know, like different, you know, like steps, right? Like doing this for a while, then doing that for a while. And yeah, I just think Mars and Aquarius, they're the ones that fight, they fight for the causes they believe in, you know, but they're so like, what I love about it, and I know other ones, they're so fucking unpredictable, you know? Like you just never know. Like they're so fucking random. Mars and Aquarius. So random. And they they definitely do not like they can be super rebellious. Like if you try to tell a Mars and Aquarius do this, it's not happening, you know? So you're gonna love what I'm about to say. Venus and Sun in the sixth and Vertex and you know Mars too, but more of those three. Pets. Pets are amazing for you. Sixth house is rules pets. So yeah, having Venus and Mars there, or Venus, yeah, all the planets there, it means that you could have amazing pets and have really great relationships with them, and that could be a big part of your life. I don't know if you have animals.
Vertex in the sixth house, I've always like intuitively read it as like having like soulmates as your animals, having
Same. Really? That's crazy. I do the same thing.
it's awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let Sag Moon be Sag Mooning. But yeah, the the pets for sure. Just so healing. I mean, so the sixth house is like physical health, and the 12th house is a lot of the mental health, you know? Uh, but yeah, they help anchor us into the physical world, which South Node in Taurus, Sarah's in Taurus. I see you being somebody who like could take really good care of things. Virgo risings too, right? If you could take good care of yourself, you could probably take good care of something else. Um,
Mhm. Consistent.
mhm. um, I kind of want to take a look, Jesse, at the email that she sent.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Been talking to Anastasia for like ever. Um,
I won't read. I will not read.
let's see. Okay. Did she write anything? Let's see.
On mine.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that we pull up like everything because I know that like people were emailing us.
Yeah, I probably would have written it, but let's check.
I would love to hear some future astro events if it comes up while you're recording the reading. If not, it's okay because I know this all comes down to inspiration and intuition. So I will let you guys do your thing. I have complete trust in you. Um, so yeah, future astro events, and then she did um, meet somebody and just want to look a little bit at the synastry if we could. Yeah, so I can pull up the synastry really quickly, unless you want to look at some of the future like things for her. I know we like Jesse pulling up your Saturn return chart was really really big. I feel like Saturn's your biggest thing right now. Saturn's actually like on your Saturn. Saturn's at 0 degrees in the sky right now, like as of today.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you gotta worry about. Or like not worry, but like, your life is changing and let me look. Let me compute in my brain. No, that hasn't done that. Da, 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 da. That passed. That passed. Dick.
I mean, there's nothing squaring Pluto. There's nothing.
Ooh.
What?
Wait, you want to pull this industry and I'll just like do a like I'll just like look quickly at the whatever stuff.
Yeah, I want to pull it. I'm sharing my screen, so if you want to, we can wrap this up. We can do Sinistry afterwards, like just because it's showing here, you know?
Okay, well I'll just speak because yeah, we're not gonna go like super deep into the current, but um yeah, basically obviously Saturn return. So right now you have you have Uranus square Venus. So you can literally look this stuff up too. You can search transit Uranus square Venus, and there'll be like full articles. But the gist is like if you're in a relationship, like it's just like a time. It's a very very liberating time, but it can be very difficult for people in like kind of constraining relationships to keep it together. And it's just a time where you really really value freedom even more than usual. Um, it can actually bring a lot like bring a change. It can bring someone into your life actually. Um, and yeah, and then like Neptune has passed 16, so Chiron is trining your moon, so that's like a time where you can kind of you know let go of old emotional wounds, things that used to bother you a lot in the past, um, can lose their power. Um, and let's see. Mm, Yeah, so you've actually passed a lot of like the more difficult transits. Um, I guess Jupiter, squared your Mars, but that's not, whatever. Um, mm, yeah, because there's nothing. Yeah, like the square of Neptune, your moon's long over. Pluto's not doing anything. Although, is there anything at the start of fixed signs? No, no. I mean, like eventually, yeah, it's gonna take many years for Pluto to be over all your Aquarius planets. And then let me just look at this. Okay, so I just want to see where you're at with your progressed lunar cycle. Um, so your progressed moon, which is like your emotional compass where you're at, is in Virgo. So that is cool. Just because that's your first house. So and then okay, so basically like to explain it, we all have just like there's a 28 day um lunar cycle each month for us humans, and we have one also, but it's years, right? So it relates to the progressed moon, the progressed sun. So basically, where you're at in that cycle, you know how like on a full moon, like a new moon, it's like a new beginning, right? And then you kind of like get like a, more of a clue, like you start to build up towards the full moon, which is the culmination. And then after the full moon, you get to the third quarter, whatever. And then as you're like in between that third quarter and that new moon, so actually, me and you are in the same place. This is super interesting because I'm very, very like this is a big deal for me. Like this is like explaining everything. So this might resonate a lot with you. Um, you're in a place where you're past the third quarter. I forget what the phase is called. Yeah, you're past it, right? 16 Scorpio. Yeah. So basically, right now and for the next few years, actually it's like it's kind of a difficult, not saying that the time's going to be difficult, right? But it's like this is the progressed sun, this is the progressed moon, right? The progressed sun barely moves, the progressed moon catches it, and then there's the progressed new moon. So you're um let me see how many years away. Hold up. You're kind of like at that part of the cycle where the stuff like the stuff from the current, but it's more like the previous cycle doesn't really make sense anymore, but you still don't really have the clues as to what's coming next, right? That's how I explain it best, is like it's like you've turned the page of the chat, you've turned the page of the book, but it's like you're in the middle, like the page is like in the middle, so you can't see what's on the other side, and you're kind of just only seeing like you know the edge of the page. Um, so let's see. So your progressed new moon will be in, wait, where'd it go? Fuck, fuck. Oh, wait, what? Wait, hold on 1 second. Wait, what?
What's that?
Like, oh, okay. I got scared for a second. I was like, why is it moving backwards? It's just because of yeah, it's like a three. Wait, should I you want to make me the host really quick so I can just share this just to show her, because I think this one actually makes more sense. visually. Let me know when it's okay
Yeah,
now.
it's here.
Cool. Okay, so this is the wrong date. Okay, so this is your progressed moon, right? This is your progressed sun. So the progressed sun moves by 1 degree each year. The progressed moon, um, it's around like 13, right? 13 and a half ish. So basically, obviously, so right now it's here and it's trying to catch up to this to where the new moon will be. So I can even go back in time and tell you when you had your progressed full moon. You'll probably be like, holy shit, that this and this was happening then. Okay, it's close. It's gotta be right here. Where is the moon? Why is it why is it doing this? Oh my god, I'm retarded. I am retarded. I need to get a what's it called? Lobotomy? I'm gonna get one tomorrow.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah, I'm checking myself in. Did it did it just oh my god, my program just fucked me. Okay, you might have to delete everything I just said. Um yeah, actually no, somehow, holy shit, that's crazy. Somehow, so lucky. I was looking at transits, the third wheel, and it's really progressions of the second wheel, but somehow it's still the same. So lucky. So everything I said is valid, but I'm like so fucking lucky. Um, okay, your progressive moon is not in Virgo, it is in Capricorn. Um, conjunct your Neptune. So that can be, this can be a really confusing but magical time for you right now. And then in the next few months, it's going to be with Uranus, which can be a very invigorating time, right? Um, but progressed moon in Capricorn, yeah, it's like people want to solidify things, but like the moon in Capricorn, things can get a little bit stuck, right? Um, so it's important to kind of like it can be tough to like be vulnerable and get the emotions out, right? Obviously, you're not a Capricorn moon, but yeah, like really, really finding your purpose matters during this phase, and it's in your fifth house. So it is that mix of yeah, like maybe like because you do have like Uranus and Neptune in your fifth house natally, which people who have that they just have like like very like they're very very creative and they can blend creativity and like imagination, inspiration, and actual creativity. And then Uranus fifth house makes someone with usually pretty unusual hobbies, um, but interesting ones. Um, Also, it makes like the dating phase, like kind of like the pre-phase of relationships, like pretty interesting and magical. So you have to watch out for like, um, that Neptunian fog of like, you know, thinking like just taking your time with things, right? But anyway, so your progressive moon is here at 21 cap, um, and your progressed sun. Hold on. Your progressed sun is here at 16 Pisces, right? So if we look, so we're following this, right? We're going year by year. So in a year, maybe next I don't know, call it like next summer, it will enter Aquarius, which will be, you'll love that because you have all the Aquarius. And in 20, so this is when so like the closer you get, so like yeah, around 2020, like summer 2028, I know it's a long ways away, that's when the new moon will start. But there's some really crazy spiritual um like components that happen, like a lot of magic that happens in this kind of period that you're entering. But the thing that I will say is that the confusion can be yeah around that very thing of like, okay, I'm past this phase of my life, but like I don't really like, and I can totally fucking say like this is my experience, right? Like I don't really know, what's next. I'm not really getting the clues of the actors and the actresses and the places and all that stuff, right? I sense that like something is done, but yeah. So that's how I would look at it. And you can even search like progressed moon in Capricorn. Let's see if it says something. Now is the time. I'm not gonna read all that, but you can pause it. Now this thing. Now is the time to consolidate on your aspirations of the past couple of years. Blah 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 blah. You can just pause and read that. But yeah, yeah. So that's only gonna be another less than a year. Um, let's call it maybe 8 months. Yeah, so like like around like 8, 7 months, and it'll switch to Aquarius. So yeah, the overall, and then like with like let's see, with so yeah, Pluto will move into your sixth, so by transit. So I think that you gotta really, yeah, I mean, and you are a very health oriented person. But yeah, it can just like make, like, if someone's like overworking during that period, they can get like sick, or like have some psychosomatic stuff happen. Um, let's see what it says. No, it doesn't give it a thing. And then Uranus is gonna be okay. Oh yeah, and then the coming years, Uranus is gonna. Okay, so this is huge. Uranus is going to. Well, it's gonna take some time. Um, but around, 2026, it's going to be on your midheaven. So Uranus on your midheaven by transit, that's a career change, or potential for like your public persona like just changing like big time. um so a lot of people have like these massive revelations, and go like a completely different direction in life when that happens. So yeah, yeah.
I mean, Jesse really went in. Like, I just hat off. Um, the only transit that like I will speak on, of course, like your Saturn return is Saturn returning right now. Like as we speak, you have Saturn at 0 degrees. So your Saturn return, like a lot of it is happening right now, and then it'll move, and it's just gonna kind of be like where you have to be patient in that area of life. So like you get it's just like calling for patience in the area of relationships. um it's really also helping your self identity. Like Saturn will be opposing your Chiron, so that is already an opposition that you have. So like the activation of that, so like a lot of like it's a very sober time. It's a very sober time for a lot of Pisces Saturns right now. um Not like kind of like going back to old ways of kind of like escaping or kind of like dealing with emotions or heavy things. It's like finding new ways to do that. I also saw that you have Jupiter opposing your Jupiter natally. So I would just avoid like kind of overdoing anything right now, like overworking or over like just putting anything into like one area too much, or just trying to do it all. Although I will say it's a really really good time to travel, to like have these experiences, because it's also the Saturn in Pisces. Like they learn mastery through experiencing life itself. So that would kind of be what I would say about the transits. But
Yeah, definitely. And also, yeah, and like Saturn, also one thing about just your Saturn in general, it's so like people who get married, who have Saturn in the seventh house, who get married before their Saturn return, it's a lot of times really, really difficult, because when so like what happens, let's say like you got married at like, I don't know, 26 or 25 or whatever. When Saturn transits the seventh, um there's actually a lot of divorces happen, or a lot of like breakups or whatever, because um yeah, because like Saturn is the planet of restriction. So when it enters the house of relationships, um yeah, it can cause a lot of restrictions. So a lot of people say it's best to, for marriage to happen when your natal Saturn's in the seventh, post Saturn return. And also, yeah, like there's a lot of karma, and yeah, it's just Saturn returns are so random. Like it's just like I've seen everything from like the worst thing happening to like people meeting the love of their life to, you know, just it's so like finding their purpose. Like it's so like impossible to predict. But I don't know. I think just I just see you going through like a massive change, and in a good way. And I think a lot will open up in the realm of relationships as well. And even with all your progressed planets in Pisces in the seventh, I think it's just waiting for Saturn to kind of get the fuck away, and then a lot will open up in that area. So yeah,
Yeah. So, do we want to pull up her synastry?
yeah. Let me put you back. There we are.
Cool. Gracias. Mulțumesc. Mulțumesc. I can't. I can't do this.
Mulțumesc. Mulțumesc.
Mulțumesc. Anastasia, can I just say, I am very excited to meet you in person. Very excited.
Me too.
I know. We should plan a trip to Greece, Jesse. Say
Be
hi to
dope.
our sister. Can't
Be dope.
Now I don't know if I know this gentleman's name. Let's see.
Let's call him Gerardo.
Giardo. Where are you? Okay.
Wait, did you share your screen? I don't see.
Oh, here. Let me share. Back to meeting. Where are you guys? I think I'm sharing my screen.
Is it my? Oh yeah. Never mind. It's like on a different
Okay.
thing.
Okay. So he is December 13th, 1998. Anastasia, you're like me, going after the youngins.
Me too.
Anastasia is
Me too.
look at the three of us. What is it?
Being creeps. Joking.
It's us wanting that. Our Sag mood are just like, oh, different.
Gotta stay young by proxy.
Yeah, by proxy. uh, I wonder where he was born. I don't think I have that from you. Oh, he was born and raised in Athens. He's a little Greek dad.
Is that for sure?
Yeah, she wrote that. She was like, he's born and raised in Athens on December 13th. I just didn't see it. No birth time, but that's okay. It's never stopped us before.
Well, for the composite, it will, but for synastry, you can see things.
I want to type in some asteroids.
Oh yeah, we didn't do that for the natal.
I know. Okay. I'm obsessed with this asteroid Destin. Like it's my favorite thing because you can use it for anything. Okay. Alrighty. Oh my gosh, Anastasia, you have angel conjunct Vesta. You do give angelic energy a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel that.
Right? Right. So this man is a um Libra moon. Beautiful. It works really well with the Sag moon. Oh, so you guys have Sun Moon conjunction, which is really good in synastry too. Um,
Sun what?
Sun Moon conjunct,
Oh yeah, that's one of the best possible.
one of the best. And the moons are also compatible. He's a Libra moon, she's a Sag moon.
Yeah,
Um,
sextile.
yeah, destined asteroid. So your destined asteroid, Anastasia, is in Sagittarius. It's really close to your moon. It's in between Agape asteroid and your moon. But his sun is illuminating your destined asteroid. His sun and his Venus are also illuminating your unconditional love asteroid. So, I mean, what did you say? So you said um, it has been a minute and quite a few things have happened both emotionally and at work. So I actually met someone a month ago. He is a Capricorn. I knew it from he is a Capricorn. I think he's a Sagittarius, but he's a Capricorn. Let me see what you. So he's a Cap Venus. Um, I knew it from the first moment I met him. And I was wondering if you had time during your reading, you'd be able to let me know how this situationship looks to you. I wouldn't want a synastry reading, but just knowing things are on the right track would give me a lot of confidence with him and I. He is actually younger, which is troubling, and I'm having some thoughts on it. But in the end, it's just a number, and we vibe, and we have so many things in common. Born and raised in Athens, and the things we have in common literally blow me away. Kind of looks too good to be true. With work, things have been difficult, but the past 15 days, it feels like the energy is more calm and renewed. But would love to hear insights during our last. Okay. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, I could say my thing, but Jesse, do you have? Oh, there's South Node conjunct Venus, North Node on her rising. I don't know, Jesse, anything? Or I can go too. You guys both have Juno and Scorpio. That's cute. Jesse, you're on mute.
Can you give me the birth info also, please?
Yeah. He's December 13th, 1998 in Athens, Greece.
Just 12 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so yeah, we don't know his ascendant. So with the composite, we can't really know the houses or the ascendant. But we can know some stuff. Um, like you guys have, yeah. So like cap. So it, yeah, it's like a very grounding energy. A lot of Capricorn. So relationships, like mine has a lot of Capricorn. So it's like it feels very like, especially for like if you lack Earth in your chart, um, it can be very like foundational and grounding to have like a composite, which is your combined chart. Obviously, I'd have to do like a full compatibility reading to like really get to the bottom of it and like know his birth time and stuff. But just from that, like there's a lot of yeah, very, very grounding, very consistent. Um, and then also, like the Mars and Sag is good for your Sag moon traveling. Um, the moon, we think it's in Scorpio. I mean, we don't really. There can be a variation of like 7 degrees each way ish. But yeah, yeah. So the moon, yeah. So then the comp moon would be in Scorpio. So that adds like that depth and that intensity, um, emotional depth, emotional intensity. I would say that thank fucking God for this Sag energy, the Sag Mars, because like just the moon in Scorpio with all that Capricorn, like those two energies can be a little bit stale and boring, but that's only composite, right? Sometimes if you guys have synastry that's very like fun and illuminating and all that, um, it can be really, really good to have, these types of energies because like, it's very loyal, very committed. Um, it runs deep, like the emotions run deep and it's very transformational. And but then it's solid. So like it's a very Saturnian relationship in the sense that you guys could probably, are they dating?
Situationship, she said.
Yeah. So I mean, I would just like I said with your natal, I would always take a lot of time with everything. But yeah, like also because yeah, having Neptune and Uranus in the fifth can have like just these magical like meeting them and going on the first few dates. So really like kind of um and then also Saturn seventh, it's like really important to have like those boundaries, like having the solid boundaries in relationship also. But yeah, I would say like a Saturnian relationship is able to weather storms quite well. And um yeah, I mean I have North Node conjunct Chiron in the composite, so that speaks to a very healing relationship and it's in Libra. So North Node and Libra, yeah, you guys could be kind of meant to have like a romantic type thing. And then it's really well aspected. There's just Chiron is the only one that's yeah, but you guys have like Mercury conjunct Jupiter, Sun conjunct Jupiter. So there's a lot of good fortune and luck in the relationship. Super romantic Neptune conjunct Venus. So that's like very, very romantic, even though it's in Capricorn. So yeah, there's a nice magic from the composite side for sure. But obviously, as I said, I have to dive a lot deeper and know the full info to really know the whole dealio.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Saturn's only well aspected is huge. So many relationships where the karma of the relationship is like there's still stuff that needs to be worked out, and there's things that can obstruct like a solid foundation from forming. There's blockages that could appear from like couples being together with harsh aspects to Jupiter, harsh aspects to Saturn. With a Jupiter, um, on the sun and Mercury on the sun, I would say you guys have like communication is a strong suit for you guys. I would also say like just expanding, like there could probably be a lot of optimism. Venus conjunct Neptune, same. The only thing with the Venus conjunct Neptune is the fact that it's squaring Chiron could be like to not get lost in like fantasy or like making sure that you see each other like very clearly is like the best way to go always. um Chiron relationships, they can like trigger you to like heal and to kind of, but those people are really like help facilitate us on the healing journey. You're very Chiron oriented anyway. So but yeah, I mean it, the healing does come too. You guys have an angel at 29 degrees, which I think is really cute. You guys had a strong angel aspect too. I feel like there's a sense of like this person, um, which let me see the synastry of you actually just being able to like trust this person enough to like work through some things with this person. I think that fact that you're during your Saturn return does make this relationship very karmic or like the situationship. But I see him as somebody who is here to kind of be like an aid for that in terms of being able to talk, in terms of meeting somebody who is, the sun moon combination's everything. I really like the sun moon combination. I had that with somebody, and there was just like a general understanding of not really having to like over explain. And if you did explain, it was like you just kind of knew where that person was coming from. It's not like, oh, I don't, why would they say that? Or like, oh, like what? It's a very like mutual understanding. And just like a like seeing that person's energy in yourself, which some relationships are really opposite. Some relationships are, you see some of yourself in that person. Your guys is Pallas Athena. conjunct very, very, very strong intuitive connection. I wouldn't be surprised if like you were thinking about him and then like he called you, something like that. You guys get downloads very similarly. You guys, for you to have Pallas Athena in the seventh house too, I really like this because that means that you navigate relationships well, though. Like you have that ability to. Uh, could be past life like mother. Sarah's on the south node, really big. Um, um, yeah, I mean, South Node conjunct Venus, like this is just somebody that like you have like loved before, like no matter what the relationship was, you know. But yeah, definitely past life relationship, and then um vertex. So we don't have his vertex, but his Uranus is really close to your vertex. So yeah, very unexpected, shaking things up. With the Uranus square to the Venus, like Jesse was talking about, yeah, like it would be very, it can't feel like you want your freedom, you know, more than usual. And like maybe this could like attribute to the why it's the reason why it's a situationship. I think it was meant to come out of nowhere, but I think it's facilitating in the healing that you're doing. So that's kind of like my safety net and question with like, what is this person like? How is it helping? Like, you guys are definitely one of those relationships where there's more similarities. Um, but you know, he has the Venus in Capricorn, he has the Mercury in Sag, so um, he is different as well. He is different. I would say like Venus and Capricorn too. Like I feel like they're all in. Like once they're all in, they're all in. Like for a long time. But yeah, so something to anything you wanted
Yeah.
to.
Um. I was trying to get the synastry grid. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're definitely yeah, past life lovers with this with this the Venus on the south node and um he like yeah, there's a lot from the past and yeah, I don't know. The compatibility it's just so there's just so much to it. Oh cool, he has a 21-degree Sag sun like me or exactly my moon is 21 Sag. So he's awesome. No, actually, that is a really good degree. 21 Sag. I forget why. It's one astrologer saying it's like a great degree. Um, yeah, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Um, but yeah, I think overall, you know, there like he has the fire, the air, trying to go more Leo, and is there Earth? Yeah, he's got that Venus, but and then you have the Virgo. Yes, you guys have a little bit of Earth. Yeah, I mean, I think like just from a basic perspective, it it definitely has potential. And I think that you guys will be able to conversate well and with Sag. Yeah, and the fact that he has the Sag energy, yeah, that's massive. That's massive, massive. Um, So yeah, I mean, I think sometimes you gotta just keep it a little bit basic, right? And um, you know, like nodes with synastry, it's kind of interesting because I've seen couples that where it's way different. Because obviously his North Node in Leo, yours is in Scorpio with Pluto, a lot more intense. He's trying to allow himself to be creative and allow himself to kind of let loose in this lifetime. And like you guys both have Chiron squaring your node. Um, So yeah, I mean Chiron is like a big part of this relationship. So yeah, I think it's a healing relationship, and I think that, you know, I don't know about your guys' like trauma or just like any of that kind of backstory, but sometimes it takes like a relationship that is like a very safe place, um, to really, really like just move things in a great direction for you both personally. And yeah, I think that yeah, there's a lot in common, there's a lot of potential. But yeah, as I said, like um I don't want to give too many big remarks without knowing the full picture, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. I would like to say, like, when it comes to people being like younger, like the age difference, like I've dated wide range of age differences. One thing that I could say astrology wise, when somebody's south node is so much of like what your chart is made out of, that the karmic journey why we're here like is our north and south node, right? So we operate from our south node a lot. And so it doesn't, I wouldn't want to say like it doesn't really matter, but it definitely helps like the fact that he's a south node in Aquarius because you have so much Aquarius
Mm,
naturally what he defaults to as an individual, a humanitarian, somebody who also values their friends, somebody who has had the capacity to work hard, be different, own who they are. Like this part of him, you'll recognize because it's such an unconscious way of being. He's also Uranus in Aquarius. I'm part of that generation. Um, the younger generation, they have really, really, really good placements. I mean, he has Jupiter in Pisces. That's in a sign that it feels good in rulership. We have Uranus in Aquarius in rulership. We have what else? Um, is there anything else? Some people say Pluto is exalted in Sagittarius, but all I'm saying is for this, Saturn also likes to be in an Earth sign. He was Saturn in Taurus. Um, Granted, there's other things I could say about the Saturn in Taurus, but or no, he's a Saturn in Aries. Saturn in Aries. You're the Sarahs in Taurus. But yeah, I mean, it helps, you know, with the South node. I'll say that for sure. And the fact that his North node is on your rising also helps. I like to look at North node oriented relationships, you know, not just a lot of the South node stuff, but yeah, the fact that his south node, his nodal axis is on your angle axis is big too. This is kind of like a, I'm traveling the same way you're going for this part of this journey, so let's just kind of figure this out together while we're here. There's enough like a little bit of like unconditional love. There's enough similarities, so I feel like even if it doesn't work out, I can't see you regretting like meeting this person. I think with the Sagittarius moon, that's naturally maybe how you are. But yeah, like no coincidence. Your Saturn return, we have this here. He's
yeah,
definitely like a
it's important. Yeah, anything that happens in your Saturn return, there's, you know, and it's not even about like if it lasts forever, if it lasts for this long or that long. It's just, you know, sometimes people talk about relationships that lasted like a very short period of time, but marked them tremendously, you know. So yeah, but there's a lot of good mix of elements just from a bird's eye view. So I think yeah, I think that like on the feminine side, you know, like the composite chart handles that, and then I think on the masculine, like fire and air side, the synastry handles that. So yeah. Wait, was his Venus in Capricorn?
yeah. His Venus is in Capricorn.
Okay, well that yeah, so yeah, um that goes well with the composite, and I mean, I don't know. I guess you'll just have to see. I think him being a Sag, he might be more open-minded, and a Libra moon willing to kind of like compromise. Like just with your placements in Aquarius, it is. Here's Esme, by the way.
Ooh, Esme! Hi, Esme.
Esme, look at the chart. Tell me what to look at. Esme, no. Come on, Esme. Please. I'll show you. Look at Haley.
Hi, Esme. How does it feel to be the prettiest Neptunian babe in the galaxy?
Purring, but she doesn't want to work. Okay, Esme. Look, 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 look.
Seems like it's
No,
her day.
she doesn't want to work. Esme. Bad girl. Yeah, but I guess what I would say is like, we'll see how it works with the Capricorn Venus compared to, because Capricorn Venus like usually likes things a lot more consistent, reliable, but that could be good for you. I mean, I don't know. I think the main thing for you in any relationship is space, freedom, keeping your individuality, not, like having strong boundaries with the Saturn seventh house. Really, really like being able to just say this is how it is for me. Like for example, I don't sleep in the same bed. Like I can't. I don't like sleeping with other people. Right? I can't. I have like problems sleeping. So it's like that. Like your version of that. Whatever that is. If you need time alone. Like I think a Libra moon is good at seeing that other person's perspective, and yeah, I think that could be potential. And then with the Capricorn Venus, that'll just depend on how much of a role that plays overall. And yeah, just taking things slow, see what happens.
Yep. So, yay. Okay. So that is, I think, everything that I have. Jesse's, any lasting Kazemi thoughts?
I saw a more on her Venus conjunct exact. So I mean, I think that's like a amazing placement, right? Because it's like,
Amazing. I do.
if there's one, yeah, like a more like it's like the unconditional love. So I mean, Haley, wouldn't you say like Venus a more conjunction would give someone this, I mean, not just in relationships, but this ability to like even if things don't work out, still have love for that person, and like that's how I see it, right? It's like just this unconditional, like love, and it also goes for other people and for the world and for healing and just in general. So it's a beautiful placement. What would you say about that one? Hi,
Yeah.
Ina.
Um,
Ina.
I
Ina.
even, oh my gosh, Esme's twin. Um,
Is it Junior?
oh, she wants to work. Uh, Agape, your Agape asteroid on his Venus, like already really saw the themes of unconditional love. Jesse reinforced it with a more Venus. So Venus is like our love languages, right? You guys both have a Saturn Venus, so that's playing into both of these. It's in a different emanation, right? Saturn's traditional daddy energy, let's get down to business, right? Like his Capricorn Venus. But then you have like the daddy, like cool dad, like, like Aquarius Venus, or it's like go off and do your own thing. Like I'll still be here. Like a more to me, it's like love languages. So similar love languages, which that's a really big thing, you know. Um, Somebody like who likes to talk all day and check in versus somebody who just is good with like a phone call. I just see like similar love languages, like with that. Like you're like what Jesse said, your version of that, you know. I think you guys could like really cater to one another's love languages just because you guys genuinely care. Like that's another thing too. Like some people it's just dynamics that exist between two people. Some people can have similar love languages, but they just don't care about that person that much, you know. But if it's like you guys have different love languages, you really care about that person, you're gonna learn a new way to love, and you're gonna like maybe adopt some of that, and it's just it's different. So I see that just like the natural want to, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, I think and just in general, like any like I've done readings for people where the compatibility was like amazing and then they broke up 2 weeks later. I've done readings for people where the compatibility was fucking just insane, but they stuck through it. So like um two souls can overcome astrology, like anything astrological. I mean, yeah, anything's a stretch, but like most things, right? Yeah, like maybe even anything, right? But like obviously there's a lot of compromise that might be needed, and there's some things that just work better than others. But yeah, like the love of two souls is not shown in the chart. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So that is your reading, Anastasia. Thank you so much for deciding to support us. Like, as soon as I saw your name, I was like, no way, we get to give her a reading. And yeah, we've been we've been wanting to do this for a long time. So
Yeah, thanks for being patient. We had a few mishaps, but happy it happened today, and Ina is equally happy. Oh,
softest kitty. All right. Well, yeah, if you have any questions about anything at all, just feel free. You can email me. I'm all for you, but you can also email Jesse, like anything that he said, anything that I said. If you want to leave a review, yeah,
hmm.
just let us know. Thank you again.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, and of course, if you ever want to get any other readings from either of us, just let us know before. I mean, or at least for me, like let me know. I'll give you a big discount if you ever want to do like a compatibility. And yeah, it was a pleasure. And hopefully meet you one day. And you're awesome, and your chart's awesome. And yeah, and Haley, you have to make me the host again because I have to
Oh, yes.
end the thing.
Let's see if it cures.
Thank you. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a pleasure. We went 2 hours. Damn. All right. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Take it easy, Anastasia. Bye.
Bye bye.